Hello, how the heck is it going? I'm back with another video. Today we will be recreating an Instagram nail design done by Salon Guyanexransk. First try, nailed it. But yeah, this picture in the background is the one we'll be recreating, and we're going to start with some Ombre medium stiletto tips. I already have them buffed on top and underneath. And first coat, we're just going to start with the pinky and slap on some eye gel chrome on. It is just going to serve as a background layer for our silver glitter. And now we'll move on to the ring finger, where I'm going to take Granite Peak and slap that on as well, because the seam where these two colors meet is going to be covered by gems anyway, so we don't have to be too precise, just kind of get the general shape of where you want the colors to go. Then I'm just going to compare it to the one I did on the other hand, just to make sure that they're pretty even. And we're taking this very cute glittery pink shade. It does look a lot more pink in person than it does on here. I guess because I have like super white lights, so just imagine it. Use your imagination. And just apply that on the middle finger, the index finger, and the thumb. Now for the index finger, we will be using that same shade, but we're going to be doing an ombre with it. And since it is going to be mixed with a really dark shade, I'm putting it almost to the very tip of the nail, and then taking my brush and just kind of blobbing on some excess at the tip so that the dark color has something to blend with. But yeah, when the colors are this different, I really recommend just applying mostly the light color, because once you see me blend this down, you'll see a little bit of the dark color definitely goes a long way. So now I'm taking my ombre brush. This is a Wildflowers run. I think it was overpriced, so literally it works the same as an Amazon one. And now the technique I use here is called attack and tickle. For the first touch of your brush with your ombre, you just want to attack it like someone punched your mom. Just absolutely go to town, and you're gonna be wiping most of the product off, which is why the little excess blob helps. But I feel like I see so many videos where people are so gentle with the brush, but honestly, I just kind of hack at it. You'll see I'm wiping a lot. Wow, I'm out of breath. Oh my god. I love being in shape. I wipe a lot of it off, but that's why we're gonna do three thin coats, and I find it turns out a lot better that way anyway. The more coats you do, the smoother it will transition. So I'm just going in and I'm slashing my brush across. You can see it already looks pretty good, but there is some deeper grooves, which is where the tickle part of the technique comes in. But we'll do that more on the second and third coats. So now I'm just going to paint on the thumb and bake that in the oven at 350 for 30 seconds. Now you can snatch up your pure white shade, and we'll be going over the other half of the ring finger. Then we'll come back around and do a second coat of the ombre, again putting the light color almost right to the very tip and adding an extra blob. Don't worry about it being too thick when curing. Again, we're going to wipe a lot of it off, and just a tiny bit of the dark color at the tip. Now one thing I didn't like about how they looked when they were finished is that I think I moved my brush too far down the nail, because at the bottom I wanted it to be a little bit lighter, and I feel like I mixed the gray down too far, if that makes sense. So just try to keep your brush between the tip and the middle of the nail when you're brushing. So right now I'm going in again and I'm attacking and just blending furiously. It's gonna look kind of crazy for a little while. Make sure if you have a lot of the darker color on your brush, you're wiping that off. Otherwise, it'll just turn to mud. And here's where the Tickle comes in. I'm not totally sure you can tell, but my brush, I'm not using the entire bristle anymore. I'm just trying to use maybe the first millimeter of the brush. So I'm still doing some strokes, but as opposed to the attack stage, I'm really not pressing as hard. I'm really more just tickling the surface. I mean, sometimes I go back and go in a little bit harder, but for the most part, the closer I am to the end, the lighter my brush will be. But in the beginning, I really just want to get a good foundation, and it's way easier to do that when you can really harshly blend the colors together. Now for our second coat of the middle finger and the thumb, and I actually end up having to do 3 coats of this, but you know, you win some, you lose some. And our second coat of the gray color on the ring finger, which honestly I struggled with because there was this little piece of fuzz that was in there that wouldn't go away. Like, I feel like they just spawn. They're not in the air or in the bottle. They're just like, okay, I'm going to exist here now just to ruin your day. And the third and final coat of our ombre is going on, and this is the one where the tickle is most important, because this is the one that will reveal if you press too hard, because you'll be able to see the grooves. But I think I went a little too tough, but honestly you're not going to be able to tell if you're wearing them. So just to recap, the attack stage is mostly just to get the colors really blended and to thin out the coats, because you want to add extra polish so that they can mix better together and they'll actually blend. But then you want to go in with the tickle to kind of smooth out the grooves. I just went in with my third coat on the plain nails, the middle, and the thumb. Coming back with coat number 2 of the white. I like to cure them at different times rather than paint half the nail white and then half with gray and then cure. I like to cure in between so that they don't bleed together. And now I'm grabbing this glitter. I don't remember where I got it, but it's silver glitter. You can find this probably anywhere. And I'm gonna attach it with this gel base coat. But don't buy this gel base coat because it is terrible and I hate it. It is literally the consistency of water. It just drips everywhere, but I'm gonna use it really thin here so it'll be okay. And we're gonna be encapsulating this with some top coat so it won't go anywhere. So just smush it around in there, then spank its butt cheeks like it's a toddler that needs a timeout to get rid of the excess glitter. Then help it suppress that abusive memory by squishing the glitter, aka your problems, into the base coat. And now we're going on to the bling. I feel like every nail person ever says that I can't do a set without my bling. However, most of the time, what is the point if there's not a little bit of bling on it? So we're going to take this dotting tool that has been through the wringer. I have so much paint and gel on it. And we're going to use that to scoop up the Prey Diamond Gel. Yet another product I hate actually, so would not recommend. It's way too runny. I feel like everything slips around. And when you do these, like, especially if you use caviar beads, you want everything to stay. You don't want to be sitting there for like 45 minutes trying to keep everything in line. And I feel like I have to with this. But anyway, I digress. I'm just using some rhinestones I got from my nail supply shop and some caviar beads from AliExpress. I've tried many a caviar bead and honestly they're all identical, so I mean, I don't love to shop at AliExpress, but if it's the same quality, you know what I mean. And we're just placing those in the excess gel that usually oozes out after you set the rhinestones in. There's always kind of a lip around them, which is what you want. So we're gonna place those in all of these little cracks and crevices. And then I'm going to take a really old nail art brush. I think I got a pack of 6 of them for like $3 and use that to dip in some alcohol and wipe away the excess gel. Still being careful to leave some around the stones. I'm not putting my brush right up against the stones. I'm just kind of smoothing the lines so you can't tell. And here's how they're looking now that everything is cured. And I'm gonna take some top coat, and before that actually wipe off even more glitter because you do not want to contaminate your top coat. There have been too many top coats lost in battle because of this tragedy. No, I'm not crying. You're crying, okay? I'm just being sure to tuck that top coat right up against the edge of the crystals, but not over top, and still getting over top of the caviar beads. As for the rest of the nails, I'm just going to top coat them as usual, save for the glitter nail, where I would always top coat twice, making sure to seal the edges. And here's the set all finished. I think they look really cute. Again, they do look more pink in person, and I put the ring finger on the wrong way, but I feel like they look pretty close. I mean, every artist has their own spin, of course, which is why it is so nice to have so many artists. But yeah, the person I made these for loved them, so that's all that really matters. Now make sure you go like, leave a comment if you want, definitely subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.